Hi friends, welcome all to my YouTube channel. Through this video, I would like to share about questions and answers from the book New Literatures in English. The chapter name is When Autumn Came by Faiz Ahmed Faiz. Answer the following questions in a sentence or two. 1. What is the figure of speech used in the phrase the birds that herald dreams? It is a personification. In this figure of speech, we speak about the inanimate object and animals and birds, etc., as if they are personate persons. Here, the birds are considered to be the harbingers of dreams. Second, what does the passion of your resurrection refer to the poem? Passion and resurrections are the words that are often used in connection with the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus. Passion in this sense means great sufferings. The people of Pakistan are suffering because of the draconian laws of dictator Zia al-Haq and they are suffering. The poet hopes that the suffering will end and soon and the people will be able to resurrect into freedom. Third, what is the meaning of expression the birds that herald dreams? The dictatorship in Pakistan had stifled opposition by strict censorship. The intellectuals who opposed the draconian laws were either exiled or jailed. Birds represent freedom and hope. The poet is hoping that freedom will once again come to his country so that people can dream again about a good and free life. 4. Explain Let One Bird Sing. Because of the strict censorship, people are not able to speak their minds. The poet is hoping that things will change and people can speak freely just like the birds sing without any restriction. Now, not even a single person can express his ideas freely for fear of imprisonment or exile. Answering paragraph 1. What are the images used in poem to reveal the terror of tyranny and oppression? First, we have the image of autumn. Autumn has affections the trees badly. It has removed their skin and left their body naked. It shook out the yellow leaves and scattered them over the ground. Anyone could trample them out of shape and not a single person would protest. Autumn is the dictatorial rule of Zia ul Haq. He stifled all oppositions by either by exiling or jailing the intellectuals. In the poem, the birds refers to poets, writers, reformers, and revolutionaries. They are the messengers who bring in new thoughts and ideas in the minds of people. However, in the time of oppression and censorship, even they lost their voices. They can't express themselves because the dictator doesn't allow them to do so. Even before they are jailed or exiled, they accept defeat and keep silent. 2. Comment on the political references in the poem. How is it a critique of dictatorship? When Autumn Came by Faiz Ahmed Faiz is a deeply political poem written under the crushing dictatorship of Zia ul Haq. Faiz was exiled by Zia ul Haq. It was a time when it was impossible to call things by their right names, and Faiz's rich symbolism in itself became political statements. The startling image of birds of dreams that lost their songs and the trees that appear in the poem is symbolically made by the experiences of exile that the poet faced. His socialist leaning is also significant. This can be seen in his evocation to the god of May and in the call for revolution and resurrection of the oppressed. Just like autumn strips the trees of its leaves and stops the birds from singing, the dictatorship is stifling the voices of opposition and the voices of intellectuals. That's why the poet prayed the god of May to bless the withered bodies with the patience and resurrection and make their bodies' veins flow with the blood again. He prayed for the gift of freedom so that at least one bird can sing. And answer in 300 words. 1. Analyze When Autumn Came as post colonial poem. When Autumn Came is definitely a post colonial poem. In the post colonial scenario, we find that many newly independent nations were ruled by dictators. In Pakistan, Ziaul Haq became the sixth president after declaring martial law in 1977. He served as head of state from 1978 until his death in a plane crash in 1988. All these years, there was strict censorship in Pakistan and opposition was stifled by him. Anybody who raised his voice against the government was either exiled or jailed. Another post-colonial element is the appropriation of colonial language. Post-colonial writers took language of their colonizers' language, English in this context, and turned it on head. A writer from Pakistan may write a poem in English, but he or she may twist the English around, write in dialect, make the language sound spoken instead of written. Pepper it with native phrases and terms. It's still English, but it's different kind of English. It is a way for them to challenge the authority of colonial language. They do all these crazy things within it. They take the language that was used to subjugate them and use it to challenge their oppressors. In the poem of Ice, also, we find peculiar uses of English. The dictatorship of Ziaul Haq is compared to autumn. In autumn, the trees look unclothed like human beings when under compulsory without leaves on branches. The skins of trees became sheer black trunks with no foliage on them. The yellow leaves are speckled all over the ground. The fallen leaves can be crushed and as such reducing them to nothingness to utter a cry of protest. Then poet wishes to point out that the victims of powers are as helpless as the yellow leaves falling from the trees in autumn. The birds that signify change through their sweet songs are so more there. They migrate to other places as forced by the nature. The autumn rendered them worthless. They died before the hunter could aim at them. Autumn was responsible for their exile. The poet appeals to the god of May to sanctify the trees and leaves. They call dried up bodies with feelings of hope and renewal of life. He wishes God to fill them with the hope so that soon fresh blood will begin to circulate through their dead veins. If God make a single tree to put forth fresh leaves and let the birds sing again, other birds and trees will cherish hopes of new life without the desolation and devastation brought by autumn, brought by the dictatorship that stifled all dissent.